Hey there, this is Jamie from the Modern Tog, and I am here to show you how to customize forms in Gravity Forms. We are going to be looking at the free contact form that I have available for you over at the Modern Tog, and how to customize that since you can pick it up there. You should already have purchased Gravity Forms and installed on WordPress. You're going to need to have imported the contact form if you want to follow along directly. There's 2 videos on the site already that show you how to do that, so check that out first if you haven't done so. Alright, so you need to be logged into WordPress, you need to be in Gravity Forms, just click on the Forms button and you'll be here, and you should see the contact form right here. So if you hover over it, you'll see the edit button. We're going to click on that. Okay, so we've got a bunch of fields here. If you haven't already taken some time to preview this form, please do that now. I'll just click it, or I've got one. I just click the button. You can preview it over here and see how it works. Take a look at what you like, what you don't like, what you might want to change, because if you just look from here, it's a little bit confusing, or it can be. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is just how to enter a new or change a form. So say you want to say something other than name. So we're going to use edit and just click the edit button right there. Alright, so say you want to be specific and say first and last name. You just highlight, type it in, click close, and you are set to go. The little asterisk shows that it is required, and you set that down here, required. If you want to have first and last name separate instead, you can do first and last and just call it plain name. Personally, I like to use the simple. That's just me. You can do whatever you like. So close. When you make a change, go to the bottom and hit update form, and it will save your change, and then I continue editing. You don't have to save every time, but I think it's good practice to save often so that you don't lose a bunch of your work. Alright, so let's say that you want to add a new line here, say location. We're going to use single line text. That's just basically what these are. For name and email, there's actually these advanced fields with name, email, other stuff. If you want to use them later in your emails to your clients automatically, like when you send an automatic confirmation email, you're going to want to use this stuff here. But for most other things, you'll just want to use a single line of text or a paragraph text or one of the other options here. So let's say you want to know their location. All you do to add a field that's we're going to add a single line, is just click single line text, and it shows up at the bottom of the form. So here you'll see Untitled. You can click on that to edit it. It'll open up. We're going to, ask them to put their location. Okay? So I want to require this. You can choose if you want to or not. And I'm going to do something called Conditional Logic, because I don't really care where they're located if they're just asking me a question about, some posts that I put online or something. But if they're a wedding client, I want to know where they're located to have an idea of where the wedding is going to be. I think I already have that in the contact form, but we're just going to pretend we don't. So here you can ignore a lot of this stuff, but down here there's this thing called Conditional Logic. Basically, this is a fancy way of saying only show this question if they've selected something else above in the form. So I only want wedding clients. Up in the form above, you can see there's a choice to select wedding photography information. So down here, I'm going to use this Enable Conditional Logic. The questions are shortened, but it's this first one. What's the reason you're contacting us? And then here, you select which one it is. So wedding photography information. So what this did was said, only show this question if they selected wedding photography information. So I'm going to update my form again. You will still see this question on the form editor, but when you preview the form, it'll only show up when they select wedding photography information. Now you don't want it at the bottom, you probably want it at the top nearby the other wedding information stuff, so you just click and drag it wherever you want it to go. I'm going to scroll up a little bit. So we want to move this up here. So we already have where will your wedding be, but what's your location? We'll put it there, why not? So say we notice, oh, we got these two questions. I like the way I asked it better, so you can just delete this one by clicking delete. Click OK, and now that question is gone. You could have also just changed the text on it, but this is another way to do stuff. The date of your wedding, you can, these are the date fields. That one is in the advanced fields, date. So it gives a little calendar so people can click what date on a calendar if you want. Most of these have conditional logic to only show up when it's relevant to whatever they selected up here. So you want to, say you only do wedding photography and you don't do these other types of photography. We're going to edit this. This is called multiple choice, where they only get to pick one. And here you can use the plus or minus to add another option, or the minus to get rid of one. So we'll get rid of seniors and newborns, families, and just leave these 4. If you have a lot of choices, you can use that bulk add and it just lists them right here instead of having to use plus, 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 plus. Saves you a little bit of time. Update your choices, and there you go. You can require it or not, completely up to you. If you want to set a default, you can select it here, and then it will by default be selected on your form, and it will only change when they change it. Alright, so that's that. The other button, I like to add a field below it. This is again a conditional logic thing that says only show up when they select other. So when they select other in the form, then they get this extra field here so they can actually specify what the other reason is. So kind of a cool little thing. So you've got multiple choice. You also have checkboxes. Checkboxes allow you to make multiple selections instead of just one, but it works the same way as multiple choice. And that's the main stuff there. So again, to add forms, you just click the button, it adds to the bottom, you edit it, you move it up where you want it, and make sure you save your changes at the end. So if you have any questions about ways you want to format this or change it or customize it, just leave a comment in the questions and I'll do my best to answer it. I'm not a Gravity Forms pro. I just got this a few days ago, but I absolutely love it, so I will do my best to get an answer for you. So thanks. Have a great rest of your day.